have a super fun lineup of LGBTQ friendly books that you are going to absolutely love. Some of them are hot and steamy, a couple of them are slow burn romances, and a lot of them are just fun rom-coms. So let's get into that list. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa from Lisa London Books, and you're watching the Harlequin Books channel. The first book I have for you is For the Love of April French by Penny Ames, and the main character is named April French. April is a trans woman and she has totally sworn off any type of committed relationships. However, she does like to keep her weekends open for fun, and fun for her is at a kink club called Frankie's. When a hunky new guy rolls into town, she ends up hooking up with him, and then she ends up giving him her phone number and possibly a little more, and all of a sudden she's thinking maybe commitment isn't such a bad thing. The next book is Best Laid Plans by Roan Parrish, and this book is about Charlie, and Charlie's had the worst luck. His parents died right before he turned 18, so he's decided to stay home, take care of his little brother, and run the company hardware store, as well as take in a stray kitty cat, which I'm super excited about the cat because most romances have dogs in them, so I was super excited that they put a cat in this book. Anyways, a new stranger rolls into town, and this guy's the total polar opposite of him. This guy doesn't really help out his family. He's kind of made tons of mistakes in life, is always doing the wrong thing, but he happened to inherit a house in town. And when you inherit an old rundown house, the number one place you end up going all the time is a hardware store, which is where he runs into the other guy. And just like normal, opposites end up attracting, and they possibly end up together, but you'll have to read the book to find out. The next book is If You Love Something by Jace Ellis, and this is about a hunky executive chef in DC who has a Michelin-starred restaurant, can go anywhere he wants. However, he ends up getting called back home because his grandmother is dying, and she has left half of her estate to his husband, which he thought they were divorced, but apparently the paperwork didn't go through. So they're still married, which is actually a blessing in disguise because his uncle is trying to contest his ex-husband's or his current husband's inheritance of the estate. And so they're going to conveniently just pretend they are still together so he can claim his half of the estate. And while they are still together, they're kind of wondering, why did they want to get divorced anyway in the first place? The next book is The Book Boyfriend by Chris Ripper, and this is about Preston, who is secretly in love with his best friend, Art. Now, they did drunkenly hook up once in college, but since then, they've kind of gone their separate ways in terms of romance, and Art just had a huge breakup and needs a place to stay, so he ends up staying with Preston. Now, Preston thinks this could be it, this could be the chance, but Art doesn't really pick up on any of the clues and isn't really into it. So he pours his heart into a book. So Preston writes a book with the perfect boyfriend, the perfect book boyfriend, and he doesn't tell Art that he's the author, but Art ends up picking up the book, also falls in love with the guy in the book, and now it's up to him to kind of put everything together. The next book is The Romance Recipe by Ruby Barrett, and this one is about Amy, who owns a restaurant that isn't doing so well, but she has a really great solution. She's going to hire Sophie. Sophie is a former reality TV star who just wants to cook. So the two of them get together and decide to work to help her restaurant, and also so that she can just do what she loves, which is cooking. However, they're very attracted to each other, but they end up arguing a lot. So it's kind of like an enemies to lovers romance. The next one is another enemies to lovers romance. It is 8 Weeks in Paris by S.R. Lane, and it is about two actors, one a very established and famous one, so possibly a little bit cocky, and then the second one is a brand new green actor who is new on the scene, and they're there to film a movie in Paris. So super excited about this book, which comes out very soon. And the last book is No Rings Attached by Rachel Lacey, which has one of my all-time favorite tropes, which is fake relationship. So we have Leah, whose family is always pressuring her to get settled and find somebody, but she's in between. She doesn't really have anyone, so she just kind of hints around and pretends there's a special somebody in her life just to throw her parentals kind of off the track. But her brother is getting married very soon and she needs a date for the wedding, and her parents expect her to bring the date that she's been hinting at that she's been dating. So she asks her best friend to hook her up with somebody, and Grace comes through. Grace does not like weddings at all. She doesn't even like this whole facade, but she owes her friend a favor, so she's gonna do it. While they are in London, they end up having a lot of crazy hijinks because they are obviously put in the same room together because they're a loving couple, which they aren't really in real life, as well as tons of questions about the future. So favorite type of romance, very funny, very cute, and very light. All right, that's a wrap. Remember, if you like hearing and talking about romance books, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. We post new videos every week.